Parashat Tetzaveh, which we just chanted, and how movingly that generations of women in your family chanted and came up for aliyot, as well as dear friends. It was very moving. When we read Parashat Tetzaveh, it may look at first like a catalog of commodities. It's all about material goods. The Parsha begins with a charge from God instructing the Israelites to bring pure olive oil, laha'alot ner tamid, to lift up and kindle a light that will burn all night long in the Mishkan, the wilderness sanctuary. Then we're immersed in lavish, detailed descriptions of the colorful fabrics, precious stones, and precious metals that will be used to create the priestly garments worn by Aharon, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, and his sons. Clad in these magnificent vestments, the special attire which set them apart from ordinary Israelites, the Kohanim will officiate in the Mishkan. But these elaborate materials and objects aren't all that this portion is about. It's about the awesome responsibility of maintaining sacred space. Dr. Baruch Schwartz defines the Mishkan as the precisely delineated, extravagantly outfitted, earthly location where God's terrestrial manifestation, or kavod, resides. Entering sacred space, encountering the divine presence, and presenting the sacrificial offerings of the people, these were extraordinary responsibilities of leadership in ancient Israel. For Israelites, the Mishkan and later the temple was the central institution of Jewish life. And for Jews, the synagogue is our central sacred gathering place. But as Rabbi David Wolpe points out, we live in an anti-institutional age. Universities, Congress, the Supreme Court, among many other pillars of liberalism and democracy, as well as houses of worship, have lost some of the respect and status they once enjoyed in our society. Through the Torah's meticulous description of the elements of the Mishkan and the priests who are its sacred vessels, we learn of the importance to Israelite culture of building and maintaining sacred institutions. They are critical to the health and survival of a community. Institutions are essential, and those who care for them are shepherds of our welfare. They take time and care to build and are all too easy to destroy. Rabbi Wolpe writes, everything from the clothing of the priest to the exact procedures matter. They are not trivial details, but essential accoutrements of a properly functioning system. For those of you who volunteer at Bethel or another institution that you care deeply about, you may not have thought of your contributions as sacred, but they are. Our Rabbi Wolpe teaches that we don't often note enough that sacred work happens in synagogue committees. Over the coffee and bagels, congregants and lay leaders in all sorts of organizations are doing something holy. The day-to-day arrangements are essential to seed the ground for spiritual growth. When you carefully plan out the logistics of a program or a service, assemble and deliver mishloach manot, cook for kiddush, send care packages to college students, give rides and share meals with one another, you are making this place an institution that we can call a sacred home. It's the efforts of volunteers and committees that make holiness happen. In a beautiful parable, our sages speak of two men carrying large stones. An observer asks them what they are doing. "I'm carrying a heavy stone," says the first. The second answers, "I'm building the Temple of Solomon."